Hey, I'm Daniel Norton here in my studio in New York City with Farah.
Hey.
And today we're going to make some kind of some portraits basically, and I'm going to show you kind of an interesting lighting technique, something that's used a lot in filmmaking. And I'm going to show you how you could use it in photography. It's pretty versatile. We're just going to use it for a super simple kind of closer shot. But what makes this really versatile is it's great when you need to do different types of shots. When you're doing close shots, when you're doing far shots, you know, as far as 3/4 length, even full length to a certain extent. The same light is going to work no matter what. So the idea here is that we're creating a very large source of light that basically acts as almost like the room itself is lighting the subject. This is, again, something that's used a lot in filmmaking where they just kind of light the space up and then the characters kind of interact within it. And then maybe a little splash of light here and there that we might add at the end. We'll see. So the concept here is that I'm going to use something large. I have actually some V-flats here. You could use some short rolls of seamless paper rolled up. You could use cotton drapes hanging down, anything that you can kind of shape. That's the important part here. We don't want just a straight line. We want to be able to kind of shape it, manipulate it so it feels a little bit more organic. So the way I've got it right now is basically kind of like almost like a U-shaped. I'll close this one up a little bit more. And this is going to control where our light falls to a certain extent. I mean, it's not like putting a barn door on the light. It's not going to be quite that precise, but it's going to give us a little bit of control and a little bit of it'll kind of set a direction to our lights. So I have two lights in here. They're both Profoto B1x's, and we're going to start with TTL. We'll probably have to tweak it a little bit to see exactly where we want to get it. But the idea here is we're going to get the space and Farah lit up, kind of it has a little bit of grit to it, but it's going to be nice and even so she can move around. So let's just start with, like we always do, we're at f8, 100 ISO, 1/160 of a second. I'm going to take a shot and see that we have a black frame. This tells us that none of the light in the space is affecting our shot. That's really what we want in these kind of situations. Now I'm going to turn my lights on. And again, I'm going to use TTL. I'll show you each of the lights as we go. The first light I'm going to use is the one that's kind of the furthest back. It's kind of bouncing off the V-flat, almost coming towards me. But remember that the light's kind of spread out quite a bit. So even with just this one light, we're going to get light all over this place. So that's actually in my B group. So I'm going to turn my A group off and just fire that light. Again, we're in TTL. And we're not worried about getting a perfect exposure right now. This is just to get direction. Okay, we can see that with just that one light, we have a lot of mood here, right? It's got a lot of flavor. It's got this kind of like rich character. And we actually could just use this one light for a certain extent. And that's kind of what's cool about this. We can turn them on and off and change up the feel of it. Let's say if she had a bunch of different outfits to wear, we could change the look with the outfits. But let's just see what the other light does. So I'm going to turn that one off. I'm going to turn back on the other one, this one here, which is kind of bouncing in the V-flat. It's kind of heading more towards Farah. And we see that's more directional, right? That wraps around her face more. So we can actually see that one of the things is kind of a side light with a little bit of wraparound. The second one is a little bit more kind of lighting up her whole face. Both of them are interesting in and of themselves, but I think together is what we're really going to get, something that creates something a little more organic. So I'm going to turn B back on. And here we go. Now this is both lights firing at once. Okay, we can see, actually it also did a nicer TTL exposure as well. We've got beautiful skin tone, we've got shape. You've got some highlight here with some shadow. Then we have shadow on that side of her face, but not so dark that we can't see detail. That all looks great, and if we wanted to add a little bit more contrast to this, we could use negative fill. So negative fill is basically, you can almost think of it like reflecting black. I say that a lot of times, and then that one person in the comments will tell me you can't reflect black, but you know what I mean. Essentially what's going to happen is the light is going to her skin, it being reflective because skin has oils in it and stuff, it's going to see the black and kind of mimic it a bit, so it's going to add contrast to that side of her face. Just keep in mind, that V-flat is not blocking any light. It's bouncing back black in a sense. And we can see that we've added just a smidge of contrast. Again, it's not a ton, it's just a bit, right? We can see that side of her face has that little bit more darkness there. Perfect. That looks good to me. I like it. So let's shoot a couple. Good, maybe work towards the line. We'll just shoot a few different directions to show you guys. Now guys, this is not gonna be the kind of light that you're gonna wanna use if you want the background to be completely not lit, right? Clearly, we're bouncing the light all over the whole room. That's the point of this. So it's really the kind of light that you want when you're trying to light up a space. Yeah, that's beautiful. Let me actually I think we have enough room here. I'm just gonna quickly go like this. I'll show you that we can actually shoot. I'm not gonna completely change everything, but I'm just gonna. I'm going down. We're going to get like a little bit of a, this is not, yeah, and we can see that it's perfectly even, right? So we can actually shoot both situations, and they both look great as far as, the evenness of the light. Let's actually, yeah, let's get like a, yeah, like a little full body. You're like, yeah, I'm posing here, just chilling out in the studio, every day, just chilling. Right, And there you go. That's the shot right there. That's right. And we can totally shoot again full-length shots. We can come in and do close-up shots. This light is going to work whatever we do because it's nice and even. We're using a large source of light. So let's come back in for one final thing because I think I want to. Oftentimes, if you were using this as a filmmaker, you want to get that kind of. I'm going to throw out a buzzword. You want to get that cinematic look. We're probably going to want to add a little bit of like a separation light because watch every movie. They always use a backlight. That's you want to make something cinematic, add a backlight. No, but it adds a little separation. So if I just take a bare head, this is a Profoto B2, let's just throw it back here. Now you can put it on either side. I tend to like my hair/kicker light to be opposite my key, but if you like it on the same side for a more natural feel, or if there was like windows in the shot that you wanted to, especially filmmakers, and you wanted to make it feel like it was coming from the windows, then you put it on the other side. But let's just see, again, it's in TTL, let's just see what it does. Cool, we can see, because it's TTL, it actually darkened up the front of her a bit too, because it's, it's a balance issue. So again, when you're adding backlights in TTL, guys, you want to keep this in mind, so let me just quickly show you how you do that. I'm going to turn the C light back off. Go ahead and do that again. Well, however you want to do it, chin up a bit. We're going to establish our exposure where we want it. We're going to throw it in manual. We're going to turn off the other two lights. We're going to just turn on the C light. Okay, we can see that's a bit bright. I'm going to dial it down to stop. Okay. I'm going to throw everything in manual now. The reason why I'm putting it in manual is because whenever when you're in TTL, when you add lights, it will change the overall exposure. So you really need to be, yeah, that's pretty good. Sorry I caught you unawares there. But I think that C light's still a bit bright. Let me turn it down to stop. All right, here we go. Actually, bring your face. Drop the arm, actually. I like it better with that. Good. Oh, my hand's in the shot hole. My hand was totally in the shot. That's very filmmaker. Not a photo until you're yeah. It's like I'm looking at it. Why don't I see that my hand's there? Yeah. Yeah, it's nice, right? That adds a little bit of that glamour to it. I'm going to just dial that down a smidge more. Let's do one more kind of how we started. Just a nice kind of, it's just slight turn. Eyes here. So eyes here. Oh. Okay. Oh. Darn it. That's the shot. That is the shot.
That's
right.
The one.
That's the one. All right, here we go. Good. That's it. Bring your whole face this way. There we go, just like that. Perfect. Right there. Good. My hand's not in it. Good. That's it. Yeah, and we have that just that subtle kicker. Let's shoot a couple more like that. So we get one that we love. Good. And again, the beauty of this light is that she can be almost anywhere. So it's just all the, I just like that sound. We're making beats over here. All right, yeah, that's awesome, right? Nice and subtle. Again, that kicker light just adds that little bit to her shoulder. It's not like a tremendous thing, a little bit around the edge of the hair. She has this beautiful light on her. And yeah, I mean, these are V-flats from V-flat World, and they're amazing. So if you want to do stuff like this, obviously that's a good option. You can also, like I said, use get those 53-inch roll paper from Savage. Get a couple of rolls of those and kind of tilt them in different directions. You can also get your canvas backdrops and just kind of flop them over and drop them there. Actually, fabric is pretty common in filmmakers for them to use it because it adds a little more grittiness and some texture and some kind of some color to it as well. So lots of different ways to do this, and yeah, give it a shot, guys. Let me know how you like it. I will put Farah's information in the description so you guys can follow her. Go ahead and follow me, Daniel Norton Photographer. Be sure to subscribe to Adorama TV and ring the bell so you get all the notifications. And I'll see you next time on set.